Greetings. Let's play some guitar today. We're going to be playing 4 songs as we do every day. Today it is Summertime. That's our level 4 song. When the Saints Go Marching In, that's our level 3 song. And oddly, the level 3 song is super hard to play. And then Tom Dooley is our level 2 song, which is not too hard to play. And then finally, we will be playing Brother John, which is Book 1, Lesson 1, and the most important piece of music that I teach. And if you are thinking about teaching somebody else to play, it would be tremendous for you to start there as well. And we'll be posting, I'm posting right now the link onto that other website, denverguitarorchestra.com. The link is now posted, and I should be able to now check and make sure it works. And then we will get a big rush of people who come in to learn to play this stuff. And then it'll be great. So let me double check here. Click, and there I am. And here we go. Vic says the sound is good. So, and Vic knows sound, so she's in good shape. I have restrung my Art and Luthier. Oops, can't tell what it is. By the way, if you don't own this Snark, you should get one. Super tight HZ Snark. I am not paid by Snark. I just have used a whole lot of really crummy tuners in my lifetime, and no question, best investment there is. This is called the Art and Luthery. Let's see if I can show it to you. Fancy little headstock. Very simple, Art and Luthery. It's made by the same company that makes Godin guitars. It's out of Canada. And this is all hardwoods. Oddly, it's made out of, it says in here, wild cherry. My eyes aren't going to let me read it. Wild cherry, maple, spruce, and rosewood. So it has a really nice tone to it overall, for a very inexpensive guitar. But it's considered a parlor size. Vic's question is, what size is that? It's a parlor size. And parlor size is a little bit nondescript about what that actually means. It's somewhere between 3/4 and 7/8 probably is what most people would consider it. It is... I'm a huge fan of parlor guitars because parlor guitars are what guitars were supposed to be prior to Martin and company getting a hold of the idea of guitarism and turning it into something completely different. And so if you look at photos of guitars from 1850 through about 1920, this is the size they were. All of them were basically the same thing. They were all basically the same size. And the only ones that were different, of course, classical guitars had nylon strings and the rest of the guitars had metal strings. And you had metal strings, and there was some crossover, of course. But for the most part, the metal strings sort of became the standard instrument for people who couldn't afford really nice machines. And because the metal strings last a long time, you should change them every year these days because of the super high-tech polymer stuff that we use. But back in the day, you got a guitar, you could pretty much guarantee that guitar was still going to be playable many years later. You didn't have to spend a ton of money on it. Parlor size was the size guitars were. And then around 1920 or so, Martin started making the Dreadnought one, which is the big one. And classical guitars got bigger. And so it became very difficult to hold on to these things the larger they got. And it's why men tended to play guitar more than women. Women was a very normal thing for women to play guitar in parlors. And that's why they called them parlor guitars, because it was, a lady in a fancy skirt could play guitar without necessarily making a fool of herself. And it was held just exactly like I teach today. And I think that whole life, 50, 60 years worth of music sort of disappeared when we got the larger guitars, because now those guitars were designed to be in bands. And so the guitar went away from being a parlor activity where what we do here, sit around, hold the guitar, play the best you can, knock it out. It's awesome. It became more of a different type of activity, and so parlor guitar life sort of vanished. Nice thing is parlor guitars are coming back. People are figuring out, you know what, those big guitars are hard to hold, and they're probably more work to play than necessary sometimes. Most of us are playing just for pleasure, and we'd like to sit around the house and have something a little bit easier to hold on to. And so I've been a parlor guitar fan for a long time. I have a very nice Dreadnought, but I hardly ever play it because it's just too big. And so I did get this one restrung the other day. I bought this over at, it was a store called Musical around here. It's a pawn shop for guitars and musical equipment, and they offer lessons and stuff there. But they had this years ago it was about $100, and I wanted to get a parlor guitar at that point, and so I got this one. And since then, I have my other guitar made here, which is right there, and I had it. It's parlor guitar size as well, but it's got a wider neck on it. This has a thin neck, and so that's what I'm working with today, and we're gonna get started. Yesterday, I recall we were able to play through 3 of the songs, Summertime, and then the level 1 and level 2, but we didn't touch level 3. And I do want to talk about the level 3 song today. And so I'd like you to pull out When the Saints Go Marching In, because we want it to be easy, but I arranged it really hard. And the reason I did that was that by the time you get to the end of book 3, we're about ready to cut you loose. And you need something just to really challenge you. And When the Saints Go Marching In is a very easy song. But if we work at it, we can make it kind of hard. And so that's exactly what this piece here is. It's going to be, it's when I do the next edition of book 3, this will be the final song, and it will be meant as a stretch piece. And it's one of these pieces of music that everybody knows, and you can play it on every instrument and all this stuff. But I wanted to take and put the challenge level up a little bit. Now, what that also means, though, for those of you guys that are newer and still working on building up your repertoire, is that there's also easy stuff on here, and we will we'll figure it out. Arlo, what a delight to see Arlo. Arlo says, agree with you on what you are saying, but you do get much better bass tones out of a Dreadnought. Yeah, and so please know, there is a reason why we play the big guitars. And there's absolutely, please know that I'm not against the big guitar. I don't play the big guitar because it's too big. And because most of my playing is sitting around here in the house, just mostly the vast majority of what I do is I teach music and I arrange music. And so I am not out there performing. I am not out there trying to impress anybody with my skill set. And believe me, it wouldn't impress very many people. But what it does do is put me in a different group in terms of what I'm playing. I play this because it makes the most sense for me, not because it's the greatest guitar in the history of the world. When you get the big guitars, the Dreadnoughts and the full-size classical guitars have a much better, much deeper, much more resonant bass to them. There is no question that my Martin Dreadnought is miles ahead in terms of just absolutely beautiful sound compared to this guy. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't want to be pulling that thing out. I worry about it every time I get it out. So I'm willing to sacrifice that sound for playability. And so Arlo's point is not unimportant. The big guitars, absolutely, there are lots of reasons why we have them, but they are huge. And on a day-to-day basis, when you're learning to play music, when you're learning to tackle a song, you can kind of decide whether it's worth it. Most of the advanced players, they only have a small number of guitars, and that's the guitar they learn on. They don't want to be switching from guitar to guitar to guitar because they want to get where they are lights out and can play whatever guitar is in their hand in their sleep. And so you will find. I mean, even somebody like Willie Nelson played the same dumb guitar for never, it's got a hole in it. He's played it so much. And so, again, I play parlor guitars because I believe in that style of play and I believe in that era of guitar, but it is not the end of the story. There is definitely more to be said about that. As there is more to be said about When the Saints Go Marching In. By the way, Arlo, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. When the Saints Go Marching In is one of those songs everybody can play on every instrument. It's not particularly challenging, and we'll find out. But I took the liberty of arranging this as difficultly as possible, which I usually try to do the opposite. I usually want to have a song that is very playable and very easy, but I thought, this will end up being the very last song in book 3, and so I want people who are getting ready to leave level 3 to have one last really serious look at, well, this is supposed to be easy, but it's not, but I can still do it. Okay, so let's go through and talk about what's easy and what's hard. First thing that I see when I see a song in C, my first thought is, ugh. Okay, I don't like the key of C on guitar. It makes me mad. Grab your C chords. Let's double check. Those of you who are newer, please know this chord is these are not beginner chords. C, F, and G is, but C and F are not beginner chords. They are chords that take some effort and time to really master. And frankly, this is the chord that gives me more fit than any other chord that in all of the chords. This plain old regular open C chord, I fight it and fight it and fight it. I don't know why. It's just not something my hand particularly loves making. And so when I'm a C chord coming up, I always try to double check I'm holding the instrument well. My thumb is properly positioned. I've got nice round fingers. Index finger, second string, first fret. Middle finger, fourth string, second fret, and then ring finger, fifth string, third fret. Okay. Ideally, we don't play the sixth string, but you'll be fine if you do. Okay. And you're going to play that through the first half of the song. Sixth drum. Oh, when the saints go marching in. When the saints go marching. And you can feel that chord change coming, can't you? Hopefully that's something you're being aware of. A lot of times we're staring at the paper going, what's coming next? What's coming next? This is a song, all songs for the most part, you can really feel that there's going to be a need for something different happening. And when I was a little boy, my dad gave me my first guitar. My dad was a singer, and he was iffy on guitar, but that's his first lesson. You'll know when to change a chord because you will feel it. And so a lot of times, take your eyes off the paper and see if you can feel where these are coming when you're playing with chords and singing. Let's give this a try, and you're going to feel this G7 come up, and we'll talk about it. Okay. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching. And you can just feel something's supposed to happen here. And what's supposed to happen here is G7. Okay, so just don't overthink it. This is very folk music-y at this point. These two go up, and this comes down. That's it. Okay, marching in. Oh Lord, and you can feel that there's a need for a change there. Go back to your C. 1, 2, and then there's another change here. C7. You're holding your C chord. Your pinky finger has to go onto the third string, third fret. Okay, and again, it's not pleasant, not terrible either. Okay, if you've got your C chord on, just don't do anything to your C chord. Just add your pinky on, third string, third fret, and then you get this little bit more tense sound feeling in it. Oh Lord, I want to be in that. And you can feel it again. You're going to have to go to F. Okay, we've talked about F at level 3 before. I think it was Skip to Maloo, if I remember right. You got to deal with this. Okay, level 2, it's in Wheels on the Bus. Okay, getting from a C7 to an F is going to be part of your life as a guitarist. So you're going to be going bar, and then drop your middle finger and raise your pinky. And you're now making an E shape with a bar on 1. Number, oh, when the, and then we go to a C chord, drop back down, and just grab your normal C chord. Saints, go back to your G7, these 2 up, this down. Margin, and then you go back to the C chord. In. Okay, that's it. Now, because Arlo is here, I love reminding people that there are lots of G chords, okay? But one of the G chords is actually your F chord on 3. Okay? So you can, if you have a certain song where it works out, it doesn't always work out, but if you're playing a C chord, and you go to a G chord, or you have a G chord that goes to F, or an F chord that goes to a G, you can just hold your F chord and slide it up. This song doesn't necessarily work with like that because it never goes from F to G or G to F. But just know, if you lots of times it will, when you've got your F chord on, once you get your F chord on, boy, if you can hang on to it and go get your G, do it. And there's also another thing here, the A chord, and it's all the same shape. I was watching an electric guitar player today from England. She's a heck of a player, and I just watched her. She was demonstrating a guitar, and she was showing us this and that and the other thing, and it was fascinating to watch as she was doing a little bit of playing. You know, she's doing fancy stuff with her right hand, just like I teach you guys. But this chord, this chord, this chord. Okay. And so it, you know, it's very common to spend, once you get your bar chord on, boy, let's see if we can get some work out of it. And that F chord is super helpful. It's not something that we necessarily enjoy when we're learning to play, but something that is going to be part of how you have to do stuff. So don't hate it too much. Okay, so let's go through, let's play the chords and see if we can get them pretty close. Okay. I'm going to put my pedal changer down here on the floor. There's too many chord changes for me to do by head. Okay, I'm going to count us into. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Oh, when the saints go marching in. When the saints go marching in, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, then we would repeat and do it 27 times. I think you have 6 verses in here. And he just goes on and on forever. I didn't mention, but I should have. When you are working at that speed and you get time for your F chord, you're working getting it on. Good chances going to sound pretty horrible in the beginning. Just let it be horrible. Know that you are working to build the muscle strength here and the muscle strength just that runs your thumb in order to get enough strength where you can push all 6 of those metal strings down and then an E chord in front. That takes a lot of strength in the beat. Now that I have my full hand strength, it doesn't feel like I'm squeezing, but when I started, obviously I had to squeeze like nobody's business because it just wasn't quite having enough hand strength to do that. So we're supposed to tell you as teachers, don't have a ton of tension, don't really overwork it, but in the beginning you almost have to in order to get a clean tone out of that because you just don't have the hand strength yet. You'll get it, just don't quit. Okay. All right. And by the way, F chord will become, if you ever decide, I'd like to mess around with an electric guitar, it will be such a part of everything you do that you will be surprised that you hated doing it on acoustic guitar. All right, those are your chords. Not the best chords for guitar. Guitar is much happier in D, E, and A, and G, honestly. C is one of those chords where it's like, oh, great. This key is going to for sure come with an F chord, and I hate F chord. So that's why I put it in this key, because I wanted people exiting level 3 to be having an opportunity to step up and really prove something. Okay, next thing in this piece is the melody. Here's what's kind of fun. It's ones, zeros, threes, that's it. Okay, so you're going to be playing ones and threes, and that's it. Let's go through and play it. I'm going to count in 4. We have a 1 beat rest, and then we can play. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 4, rest. Let's play it one more time. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest. 3. Then just put a C chord on the end to finish out. Okay, that's what I did on the guitar line, is just put a C chord on there. Well, I don't know. I just like when you're done with the song, put the final chord on there. It just sounds like you're putting a period on the end of the sentence to me. All right, so melody, not too hard. Not out of control, right? Just especially if you're newer, level 1 or 2, that's a melody that I want you to be able to play, and probably is something that you could do tonight. Okay. Now we start talking about putting those together. We got relatively easy melody, relatively kind of chord structure, and it gets really, really intense through this. So it's one of these songs where you're used to hearing Louisiana jazz bands play it. It's pretty sprightly and really going along. When those Saints are marching in, man, things are going to be great. But I want you to do the opposite of that, and it's perfectly fine. Okay, I heard Aretha Franklin's I Will Survive on. There's a guy running on some ad right now, and there's a woman singing that song so slow and so beautiful. And you're like, oh, I guess you could do that too. We're used to hearing her belt it out, and to have somebody go through and play a song really slow, really beautiful. I don't know. It's just different, but it's really a legit way that you should be thinking about that as a musician. So we're going to take this C chord on Tough Axe. We're going to go down that line. We're going to take our time. I want to show you everything I want you to do. So C chord, just a nice strum. That gets the song started. Then 101. put your C chord back on, pinky here on 3 of the first string, and then everything you're already holding down, 1, 0, 2, and then take your pinky out to strum a regular C chord. 1, 0, 1, C chord with your pinky on 3, 1, 0, 2 is already being held down, C chord, no pinky, 101. Again, C chord with your pinky. Now lose the pinky and play the whole chord. Play 4 strings. Play 5 strings. Okay, and then grab your G chord, but leave the bottom open. Or you don't necessarily even have to grab these 3-2 on top. You can just play all the zeros. And then use your ring finger on the 3 there. Okay, and then again, G. Now it says G7 here. Okay, and so play that. And then just tells your audience, Wham! Okay, 003. And go back to measure 10, go to your C chord, inner 4 strings, hit the 1. Again, just like we did when we were studying the chords, just add your pinky on here at 3. Then reach down and grab those 2 3s. Go to page 2. Now, here, typically I'd tell you grab the whole F chord, but you got a problem. You're going to run out of fingers if you do that. Because the melody's here on 3, which is going to happen quite a bit on a song in F. That note's going to show up. So I can't do a full bar here. So you see I've given you 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are all part of your F chord, but then I've had to use this pinky to get to that 3. So we're going to play just 4 strings. And that's how beautiful. And then lose the pinky and roll your finger to get just those first 2 strings. Okay. Then now we have to still do some more F chords. So you got 1, 2, and both of these guys up here on 3. So you've gotten every possible shape of the F chord there. Okay. You can also do a full bar here if you want, or just do 1. Either of those is going to get you what you need. Okay. Strum that. And final F chord, and then 101. C chord with your pinky on 3. No pinky. Okay. 3, 2, 0, 1. That's your G7, but your 1 is on the second string instead of the first string. Pinky on there, 3. And then back to a C chord, but just the inner 4 strings. Okay, and then you go back and do it again. Okay, measure 12 and 13 give you basically every kind of F chord that I can think of, all in this little tiny space, so that you hopefully have a little bit of better understanding how you can modify the F chord to play it the hard way, to play it the easy way. Have a few choices there. All right, like play it one time through, and then we got to move on. We got more time. We got more songs to do. Crazy slow. Okay, crazy slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. course, let the guitar ring. Don't take your cord off until you decide you've had enough. Okay. Um, this is arranged difficultly on purpose. Obviously, I could have put it in A or D, and it'd have been way easier to play. But I did want to give exiting level 3 people one last really tough assignment, and because honestly, once you get to level 4, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. You have to play it, okay? And so level 3, I was a little bit kinder than that. Let's go grab. Let's see, what time is it? 3:30. So let's go grab, and we're going to play through level 1 and level 2. So let's go grab level 1. Let's grab Forever Jaka. See if those of you guys that are brand new are working on making that song happen. It's Brother John. And yesterday we learned basically how to tune your guitar. Eddie ate Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. We learned that you're supposed to own a snark. Okay, and we learned that you're supposed to hold the guitar like I hold the guitar. Now, lots of people, and you'll see it everywhere, well, lots and lots of people hold it sideways, and they do this, and their thumbs up here, and they're happy as clams. They are making their lives harder. You can play this way if you want, but it does not serve you necessarily down the road when you need to play high-level acoustic material. Holding it in classical position is going to make it much easier for you, making sure your thumb is not part of my life, and that your thumb hangs out over behind your middle finger. Those are sort of the basic posture things. We want to do everything we can to get stress and tension out of your body when you're playing as much as possible. Hopefully most of the time when I'm playing, I look pretty comfy. It's something that I really want to do. I really want to make my posture as tension free as possible, because it'd be nice if I could be still playing when I'm sick, when I'm old, right? Not that I'm not old now, but when I'm really old, like when I'm 80, I want to be able to play. And if I'm doing a bunch of stuff that's not good for my body, that's going to be harder to make it. And so I want you to have the same attitude of like, hey, if I've got my shoulders are way up here, my back's all twisted around, I'm holding the guitar weird, it doesn't serve you long term. And so we want to avoid that as much as possible. Next thing we learned yesterday was how to make an E chord. Let's do that. Index finger, 3rd string, 1st fret, middle finger, 5th fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, and ring finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. Someday I'm going to learn to say that in a smooth way. Okay? Play it through twice. We go down, play it to measure 8, go back, play it the second time, skip measure 8 the second time through. 1, 2, ready, play. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding ding dong, ding ding dong. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. Let's let that ride. Okay. 2 things I did with my right hand. One time I was strumming with my thumb, and then one time I was just grabbing any 4 strings that felt comfy and plucking them, not from my elbow, but from my wrist and my knuckles. Okay, that's a different way to do the same thing. And in guitar, we want to have all of the possible ways to play something, and then we pick the best way that we like. Okay, next thing, and the most important thing that we learned yesterday was how to read tablature. Okay, remember, the line on the top of the guitar melody line, the line on the top is the bottom string on your guitar. And then they just go in order. String 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On your paper goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it feels upside down. Okay, we're going to play this song through twice. And you'll let me know how things are going for you from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 79754. Oh, 79754. Oh, first string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Let's do it again. 024. Oh, 024. Oh, 457. 457. 79754. Oh, 79754. Oh, first string, second string, first string, measure 9, first string, second string, first string, and then let your guitar ring. It's doing all the work for you. You didn't have to sing a word. Okay. Tomorrow I'll run through and show you what the tough axe looks like, but you're probably getting a sense of it from the other songs that we're playing each day. But of all of the songs that are kind of hard to play, that tough axe on Brother John here is not exactly easy. So, because it's all over the fretboard and you got to use alternate fingerings and all sorts of stuff. So it's actually pretty challenging. So hopefully, as of yesterday, how to hold the guitar, how to tune the guitar, how to play an E chord, and how to play the melody. That's the main things that are you're focused in on this week. Next, let's run up to level 2. And we're going to be playing Tom Dooley, which is one of my wife said, you sounded pretty good singing that yesterday, which is ridiculous because I never sound good singing. But she's very positive and very nice. Okay, so grab Tom Dooley. 2 chords on this one are D and A7. These are guitar classic chords. You're going to use them every day of your life. D chord, index finger here, middle finger here, ring finger there. Okay. Yeah, you'll learn that. If you're level 1, you'll learn that later in level 1. If you're level 2, this is probably no big deal for you anymore. A7, it's like an A chord, except you leave the middle string open. That's it. Okay. Our job is to get from here to here and back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. One more time. Run her upon the mountain. Met her and took her life. Met her upon the mountain. You stabbed her with a knife. Why would he do that? Don't do that. Don't stab people. It's just not good for them. And so then verse 3, he gets to go hang from a white oak tree. One, that don't hang people either. That's not good for them. All we're working on there, D chord, A chord, D chord. When you're changing chords and you're getting to, like if it's an easier chord and you know you can have it on by beat 1 of the next measure, you can do all 4 beats. But if you know that you're going to struggle, stop strumming early in the previous measure so that you are on and ready to go when you get to beat 1 of the next measure. That's one of the things I notice when we are learning chords and we're learning to switch between is by the time you get it on, we're already 3, 4, 5 beats down the road and you're like, where are you kind of thing. So if you can only do 1 strum per measure, that's fine. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing is the answer. And that way you're on beat 1, ready to go with your chord. So don't fall asleep on your current chord. Find out what's coming up and be ready by the time you get to beat 1. Okay, let's play the melody. Once you're level 2, I pretty much think, yeah, you'll probably be able to do this. Okay, we've got lots of 2s and 3s, so maybe play it in second position, but I don't see any other notes. I'm probably going to play it in first position. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Let's finish it up here. Okay. One of the things I'm doing, and I don't mean to, and sometimes it's fun. When you get to a note that you know you're going to hold for a while, it's sometimes fun to take and just drag it around, and you get that wah 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 sound. It's an electric guitar technique where you wah wah wah. We do it a little bit in the acoustic guitar, I guess. It doesn't work quite as well on acoustic, but just know that's one of those things that eventually you'll mess around with. Is, hey, I got this note that would sound cool if I bend it up a little bit. You can just take and push the string up or pull it down, and you get a little wah, and they're kind of fun. All right, then tough X. Let's grab your D chord. Anytime that we play fingerstyle, anytime, you almost always, 99% of the time, just start with your chord, and you're going to find out most of the notes you're already holding down. Okay, so let's walk through it. 0, 2, a couple more 2s, and then 0, 2, 0. So you got to lift up your middle finger, or I'm sorry, you got to lift up your ring finger to open up that second string, and put it right back down. And then you got 2 D chords full, just strum them. 2, 3 are already held down. Do the same thing again. Okay, and then here we go to A7, 202. Go back to stay on your A7, but you're going to need to drop this finger to this 2. Add the 3, and then go back to your regular A7. And then one more A7. Ring finger on the top 2. Grab your 3, open, and then back to your D chord. Okay, and then let's play through it twice. I'm going to try picking it, but if you feel more comfortable doing your thumb down, it works just as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it one more time. One more time. I chopped that one up pretty good. I'll play it better tomorrow. How about that? A lot of people like that tune. Melody is really nice. The chords are easy, and but when you put it all together, for some reason, it seems like the song is fighting back, and I don't know why. All right, we got just. We're early. Let's talk very quickly about summertime. Okay, so we got through all levels 1, 2, and 3. That's the important thing. Tonight, remember, we're going to have the level 4 workshop, and we'll spend the entire from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time. We will only play the level 4 song of the week, which is Summertime. And I don't know why I don't have it here. Hold on, I have it somewhere. And I want for you guys to feel super, super comfortable coming tonight if you have time and you are available to come down and just hang out. It's what we're working on is dealing with there's some pretty challenging pieces of it, and I want you to feel comfortable as we play it, at whatever level you can play it. So in other words, sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm not ready to play at that level, but you can definitely play the melody. I mean, there's no reason why you can't do that. And so I'd love for you to come join us for that. And I don't know where I think my little gadget here ate my piece of sheet music. So hold on. Why don't I do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about it tomorrow? I don't know why I'm not finding it here. I was playing it earlier. I bet my gadget deleted it for some reason. So, well, it's a perfect time to ditch out. So tonight, 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, we'll dig into Summertime. Summertime. It's so crazy because I was just playing it out of this earlier, and it's not here right now. So I don't know what happened to it. I'll go figure that out. In the meantime, try to make some time tonight to come to that. And then tomorrow, for sure, we will play Summertime as part of what we do here during the day. There is one really important thing I want to show it to you. This is a C chord, right? Index, middle, ring. In Summertime, you have an E augmented chord, and it is a super annoying chord. But here's what the thing I want to share with you. Instead of making your C chord like this, make it with your ring and your pinky. Okay? Same chord, just leave this middle finger open. Now you have the ability to take this middle finger and put it on the first fret, third string, and now you can make that E augmented chord. Summertime, time, and the feeling is easy. So you get that augmented sound by taking a C chord, changing your fingering, and then adding your middle finger on right above your index finger. And that sound there is the whole song, to be honest. It's really like, oh, that's what we're after with this tune. And so that's it. That's Summertime, right? And so while it's a hard chord, I don't know. I think if you think of it as a C chord with an added middle finger, that's it. That's exactly the sound you're looking for. And you got to get that sound right because it really is the essence of everything. That whole song is built around that augmented sound. Let's see. Vic said, I learn a lot on Thursday night, even if I can't play well. And honestly, the melody you guys can play. Da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum. So that's again, for those of you that are newer, come play melody. You don't need to play tough uke all the time. You need tough acts. You don't need to play chords all the time. You need to play melody all the time because you want to be the lead guitarist, right? We talk about it all the time. I joke about it a tiny bit, but Jimmy Page is the lead guitarist. He plays melody. There's another guy over on the other side of the stage. He's playing the chorus, right? Don't know his name. Carlos Santana playing lead guitar. 3 other guys are playing rhythm guitar. And so, you think about which guitarist do I want to be the one they know by name, and that's the lead guitar player, and that's playing melody. And so, do not feel like you don't belong there. That's absolutely something you should be working on. So, all right, Pauline, I'll see you tonight. Thanks for being here. And Francis, any chance we would play a low E instead of a high E in the second half of bar 3, bar 11, 19, and 27? Are we talking summer and summertime? Francis, for some reason, my thing has eaten my piece of sheet music, so I'm going to go download it. Can you ask me that question again tonight? And the answer is probably why not, if it sounds better to you. Obviously, we've all heard summertime performed a million different ways, and you may find that you have a way that makes more sense to you. The way that it's on the paper as I was playing it today makes sense to me, but you absolutely can make adjustments if you feel like that. So, all right. And Evelyn, I'll see you tonight. Good. That's exciting. Thanks for being here, Vic. Arlo, if you're still here, good to see you. Francis, good to see you. Anybody else hanging out up here? Stick with me, guys. I promise, if you practice and keep showing up, you're going to be a very fine guitar player. Most of the guitar players that I end up teaching end up being better than me because they practice, and that's the difference, right? And so I'm pretty good at teaching and I'm pretty good at writing music, but I'm not so great at having time to put the practice time in. That's the only difference between me and being a pretty fine guitarist, and it's the only difference between you and being a fine guitarist. But you're not going to write the music. You don't need to. I'll do it for you, and you certainly don't need to sit around running your flapper the whole time. So pick that guitar up, and I promise you'll be a very, very excellent guitar player if you keep coming around. Okay, have a wonderful day. You get a money back guarantee. How about that? All right, have a great day, guys. I'm going to end the stream, and I will see lots and lots of you tonight, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Just go to Denver Guitar Orchestra, and the link will be posted there. Have a great night, afternoon, evening, day, whatever time it is you're at your place.